Once again, our guest here on Cougar Wrap-Up, Bobby Hull, who, like the other, 4,500 here maybe tonight because of the snow?
We have had a bad day of it, Brad. We woke up this morning with, I would say 2 or 3 inches, and it snowed another 2 or 3 this afternoon, and the kids were wanting to get the skidoos out already. So it was a little tough for the folks, and I expect that had it been a good night, we'd have had upwards of 6,000-7,000 people.
I know if you've been playing, we would have had standing room only, but I was going to say, like the 4,500 fans who were here, you were a spectator, and I know that's got to be tough for you, and I don't want to ask you too much about that. But I understand you've moved into a new home, and you've got an indoor swimming pool, and doesn't swimming soften the muscles?
Well, I haven't been in it yet. As a matter of fact, none of the kids have. We've been busy moving in, and it's pretty tough to let the 2- and 3-year-olds in there without any lifeguards, so to speak. So we've kept it kind of closed. It's going to be nice for the kids. I'm sure we're going to enjoy the city of Winnipeg. It's a big little city, and within 5-10 minutes you're out into the country, which pleases me very much. And the kids are playing more hockey than they can really stand. They're being sought after by a number of the teams around. So I think they're going to enjoy it too.
Bobby, who's handling the team right now from the bench?
Nick McCoskey. The Chicago fans will remember Nick back when I first came up in 57, 58. Nick was already here. He had come in a trade from New York, and he played 2 or 3 years in Chicago, and I know pretty well all the hockey fans there that began watching back, and when I first came up will know Nick. He's a very knowledgeable guy and a good guy to work with.
How many people did they used to attract to those games when you first came up?
I think when I first started to play, they had somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 or 4 or 5,000, sometimes 6. It depended, but we sure, it didn't take too long before they became very interested. Tommy Ivan did a very good job of recruiting, and Rudy Pillis came from our old junior A team in St. Catharines, and Stan came up, and of course Pierre was there, and Elmer Vasco, and then Johnny McKenzie and Wayne Hillman and Chico Mackey, and of course Dennis and Dougie and Freddie Stanfield and Phil Esposito, and I could go right on through and name them, and they soon began to make the old Barn Creek there, and for the last, 10 or 12 or 14 years, it's been pretty well filled.
I started to talk earlier about Chris Bordelot. He, of course, centered for you at the latter stages of last year. He's off to a great start here. 14 goals last year. Already he has 9 here, and he broke it open that first game. He had 4 goals. He said he should have 7.
Well, Chris, like a lot of the other NHL players, really understands our position here in the league, that someone has to take the old bull by the pole, so to speak, and take off with it. And Chris has been terrific, along with Bill Sutherland, and that played with Philadelphia, and Ab McDonald. God, Ab's been just terrific. Danny Johnson has really taken hold. Normie Bowden, all these guys that really know what it's all about, winning and getting kids up for games. They've really taken hold, and they've just been terrific.
We'll be back with a final question for Bobby Hull right after this timeout. When it comes to a big expenditure like a new car or a new house, you shop around. But do you have the time or the know-how to find yourself the best auto insurance? Probably not. So let Yale Insurance handle it for you. That's their business, finding automobile insurance to fit your needs. And as one of Chicago's largest insurance agencies, Yale deals with some of Chicagoland's finest insurance companies, which gives Yale the resources to find you better auto insurance than you could probably find by yourself. No matter who you are or what your driving record is, Yale Insurance Agency can get you automobile insurance you can afford and at easy terms. So if you need auto insurance, or if you think you're paying too much now, call Yale Insurance Agency at 427-6322. For auto insurance at low monthly rates and small down payments, talk to one of their representatives at either the Loop offices or in the convenience of your own home. And call tonight, 427-6322. Do yourself a favor and call the Yale Insurance Agency. Bobby, the big surprise I would have to say in the World Hockey Association right now is the fact the Philadelphia Blazers are in last place with a record of 0-7. They aren't the only 0-7 team over there. The Philadelphia 76ers are 0-7 in the NBA. But here's a team with Johnny McKenzie, who I know has been out with a broken arm. He was supposed to play tonight. Also Derek Sanderson, Bernie Perron, who played up until last night when he broke a leg. What's their problem?
Brian Campbell and Andre Lacroix, a number of others. I think mainly what it's been, and me being an old hockey player would have to go on the side of the hockey player. They haven't been able to get home for, I think, 3-week period. And it makes it tough to start a season off when no one's settled and they have families back in Philadelphia that no doubt need help with the guys being on the road. And plus the fact that I really think with Johnny not being out there to really give them that boost is hurt them a little bit. Derek is the type of guy that it may still, that the big salary may still, big contract may still be, still have him up in the clouds, so to speak, and he really hasn't got down to working yet. And I had a talk with Derek and Brian and Andre here before our 2 games, and they, according to Johnny, they got off their butts and started to work a little bit. It's just been the fact that they haven't really realized how important it is for these guys to go yet, and they really haven't taken hold.
You know, you like Ernie Banks. I thought you were going to be too nice of a guy to be a coach. You know, you have to clamp down on players. You've got the respect because you've proven yourself on the ice, and players always tend to respect the performer. But I'm told that these guys really work out, and one reason, of course, you've always been a hard worker. You've always, you're the last guy again to leave practice today, but this seems to be a very close-knit hockey team, and a team that sticks together and really works.
Well, Brad, I really haven't been able to coach yet to the point where I really like to get into it. I go out and of course, work out with the guys, and I do my workout in the practices like I think I did in the games. I feel that if players work hard in practice, then it makes it easier in the game. So I think with me being out there and working real hard, that the other guys tend to fall in line and do the same thing. But I don't think once in a while you have to be a little tough with a group of guys. But as I said earlier, the type of guys that the Winnipeg Jets have here, they don't need much of a whipping.
You're going to be in Chicago on Monday. First of all, for the Chicago Quarterback Club, that's going to be at 12 o'clock at the Sherman House. Right now it's scheduled for the College Inn. As long as you're going to be there, they might move it up to the ballroom. I don't know about that. But you'll be there, and also Ben Hatskin, from who's the owner of the Winnipeg Jets. They're going to have some Chicago Cougars there. I'm also wondering, are you going to work out at the amphitheater?
Yes, we're looking for some ice. I don't really know what's going to happen, Brad, but we'll be in Chicago for the Quarterback Club, and you mentioned Benny being there. He's a hell of a guy. He's a real nice guy, terrific guy to work with, and we couldn't work for a nicer guy. He's big and jovial, and of course he likes to win too, like everybody else, but he's a great guy.
And he's the guy who signed that $1 million certified check. We don't want to lose sight of that fact. This has been Bobby Hull, of course. He'll be in Chicago on Monday. His team, his possible team, the Winnipeg Jets, beat the Chicago Cougars tonight by a score of 4-2. Don't forget, our next telecast on Channel 44 will be Wednesday night from Boston. The Cougars' next game will be in Chicago Tuesday night, the amphitheater, against Bobby Hull's Winnipeg Jets. An outside chance that Bobby Hull could be making his World Hockey debut. Let's hope so. And so from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Brad Palmer saying good night, everybody. The Cougar Wrap-Up was presented by the Yale Insurance Agency, 330 South Wells in Chicago, 427-6322.
The Chicago Cougars hockey games are coming to you on the new TV.